being nervous, being scared, being afraid to really let people down and to let yourself down, or maybe it might not work. These are all fears that we all go into when we are thinking of trying to pivot or transition one way or the other. But ultimately, if you have the drive and the desire and the passion to do something, it's never going to hold you back. And you have all that past knowledge from all your successes. So you can use that. You don't lose that. You can use that and mold it into your new business.
Boom! What's going on, everyone? It is Steve Larsen. Welcome back to another amazing episode of One Funnel Away Stories. I have an amazing guest on with me today. Very excited, Brandon Duff. And I am asking him what his One Funnel Away story has been, starting way back from the very, very beginning. Brandon, first of all, welcome to the show. Second of all, how did you actually get started in entrepreneurship in general?
Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much. And Steven, it's a pleasure. I've always been a big fan and I love what you do. So, how I got started. Wow. I've been an entrepreneur since I was a little kid. I remember just, having a lemonade stand. I remember going door to door to sell, mistletoe during Christmas.
Nice.
I remember selling like candy bars, for school, like all these different things. And in high school, I worked for my dad who was, in his own business. So it's kind of been something I've always been into. From there, I got into high school, and when I started college, I was like, I didn't want to work at a desk. I didn't want a desk job. I didn't want a cubicle, because I thought that was going to be super boring, and everyone that I knew pretty much were miserable. They had bad posture, and they just didn't like
more straight while you're saying that right now, right?
And they just didn't like what they did. And I was like, well, I don't want to do that. So I need to get into something that I will work for myself. So I got into fitness, actually. And I was a personal trainer for about 7 years. I did really well, had amazing clients. And I knew that I couldn't train all my life. I needed to transition. There was some point where I was going to be too old. I didn't want to be that like 45-year-old trainer or 50 or 60-year-old trainer who's still training away. And people just don't look for those older types of trainers. So I was like, I need to find a way to get out of this at some point. So all my clients were investing in real estate. And I was like, well, I need to do that. So I started investing in real estate, got 10 rental properties. And I was like, I got it made. I'm living the life. I got this passive income and blah, blah, blah. But then I realized like that is not, that's a long-term situation. Like, sure, I'm going to get, $500 a month from each of these properties, but ultimately that's not going to fuel my lifestyle. So I needed to create another business online that was able to really scale myself and leverage myself and take me away from being a face-to-face kind of time for money person. So I discovered .com secrets and expert secrets and realized that these were amazing books. One of the trainers actually that was at our gym gave them to me and was like, hey, you should probably read these because I know that you're doing your podcast and you're doing all these things. This might be something that you could find valuable. And I was like, yeah, and I was sold. Right after that, I got into the One Funnel Away challenge. I actually took it twice because it was so good.
Most do.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's kind of a lot of stuff. I happen to do a lot of yelling in that particular course.
Right. You always do your booms, so that's like a signature move for you. So from there, I actually did really well. I actually the first time I did it, I made about $8,000. I was selling other people's funnels because I knew that I created good funnels and people loved what I was creating. Yeah. But I could sell them for a pretty penny because it was a very hot thing at the time, and it still is because obviously ClickFunnels is just booming right now, and everyone's loving just what they're doing with it, and just the fans are growing, as you can tell by each funnel hacking live that goes on. There's more and more people that are going. So it's just been an amazing experience. When I took it the second time, it was more for networking, teaching people, helping people, building my tribe, and now I've pretty much just used ClickFunnels to pretty much promote my software now. So I own a lead generation software for Facebook or for social media. Can't say Facebook because I don't want to be sued. But I definitely, that's how I got into it, and that's now where I'm at. And it's just been an amazing experience so far.
So it's pretty amazing. So, I mean, you know, what's funny is I'm looking through your journey. I'm taking notes, you know, going through, looking at your stuff. And so you start out as how long were you a trainer?
Well, about 7 years.
7 years? 7 years. And then you say, hey, I'm going to go find something else. You get into real estate. And in however many years that was or whatever, where you ended up getting several rentals, the bases were covered for you. But then it was about expansion. And I think that's really interesting. You know, Jim Edwards gave this speech back, I think it was 2016 Funnel Hacking Live or 2017. But he was like, it's interesting because your first funnel is about getting out of, you know, this, like the first funnel is basically about getting out of the double wide trailer, you know, to the equivalent. It's about getting all the bases of life covered. The next one is about having kind of some nice stuff. The third one is the one that works, you know, is the one that really explodes and has this massive, big lifestyle shifts. And it's kind of funny to see that same pattern. It's like, hey, you've got, you know, so the whole phrase, like you're one funnel away, that's part of what that, in my mind, that also maps back to. It's like, well, you're one funnel away from getting out of the trailer. You're one funnel away from getting like kind of nice basics of life. You're one funnel away to the explosive. It's like, so we're going through trainer, real estate. You see .com secrets. And then when did you take the one funnel away challenge?
I took it March of 2019, and then again in, I want to say, June or August of 2019.
So a solid year ago-ish. And
yeah.
And you...
Yeah, actually it was a year, I want to say, right about this time.
Almost to the day. Okay, so then you come in and you're retooling for the next explosive one. What made you choose software?
So
it's trainer, real estate, software. You know what I mean?
Well, it was kind of a mix. When I was in the first one, I was actually selling funnels, and I wasn't really into software. I just realized that I was doing the same thing again. I was exchanging time for money by building funnels and then selling them, building funnels and selling them. And yeah, it was a substantial amount of income, but obviously money's not everything. It's, you need to take yourself away from your company so you can work on your company instead of working in it. 100%. So I needed a way to do that. And I thought, I can do affiliate marketing. And that's what I actually got into right after that. Doing affiliate marketing because it seemed like I didn't need an offer. I didn't need a funnel. I really just needed to provide value, build an email list, and really grow a good following and just suggest things to people. But everyone was doing that. It was a saturated market, so I had to differentiate myself. Just like in fitness, it was a very saturated market, so I had to find my purple ocean within the fitness industry, and now I did it within the software industry because the digital marketing industry, because the digital marketing industry is saturated with affiliate marketers and digital marketers and agency owners and all these things. Not to say you can't be successful, you can. I mean, there's it's funny because when I was in the fitness industry, so many trainers were so protective of their clients, and I was like, there's so many clients for all of us. Stop being so selfish. And so when I got into the affiliate industry, I just didn't know how to find my niche. So I got into software, and I found that software, a lot of digital marketers didn't want to venture into that. They didn't have the capital to invest. And that's where I found my little spot. So I've been really pushing software right now. And my software is doing really well. And now I'm just continuously learning, going to events like OfferMind and One Funnel Away and all these different things to really just level up myself now.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. So, okay, so you make these big transitions, and I'm so thankful that you went through that and shared that, because I'll tell you, one of the biggest things I struggle with is new people who they think that to pivot is to quit, and it's not, and you clearly made pivots throughout. And it's funny because I'm looking at these and I'm like, oh yeah, the only one I haven't done on here is trainer, it's like, yep, did that one. And it's just been an interesting journey. What's the hardest part? I guess I should ask this instead. How do you know when you're ready to pivot?
That's a great question. Wow. For me, so I've had a lot of, I'm all about being proactive instead of reactive. I remember when I was training in the fitness industry, and I was training people out of my apartment gym, and other trainers started getting in there and started ruining it for other people and was really taking away what I was trying to do. And I was like, well, I'm not going to wait until they all tell us like, you have to leave. You can't do this anymore. So I needed to find a place to do it myself and train. And so I rented a space and got my own gym and did all that. And I mean, I was training out of apartments, low overhead, but I had to pivot out and find something to train my clients so I didn't lose out on potential income. So I think that's the same thing with being as a fitness industry in the fitness industry and moving to digital as a digital entrepreneur, or what I call a digital tycoon. And what I do and why I pivoted is because I knew there wasn't going to be a long road of being a trainer. And I needed to really, like I said in the very beginning, leverage myself. And I think that with everything that's going on right now, this is the best time to really start leveraging your time and your money and yourself so that you can build a online business or any kind of business that takes you apart from it. So to, I guess, come back to where you said about pivoting, you kind of have to be self-aware and kind of look to the future of what things could happen and then take those into consideration and weigh all options. And then that's when you decide to pivot.
So self-aware, future-minded. And you know, I think it's interesting too, because when it's like when you're ready to pivot, and I'm sure you've experienced this every time, because I don't know, well, I have anyway, where it's like, I'm getting ready to pivot. I don't know that I'm about ready to pivot though. All I know is that my current situation, I'm feeling it, that it's kind of sucking, that it's been really hard, that there's like this just constant undertone of discomfort that's going on.
Right.
And sometimes I think, I don't know if you ever did this, but there's been times where I'll sit back and say like, well, shoot, I can't, this must mean that what I'm thinking about going and doing is wrong. And sometimes it's really just about the situation that's currently happening.
Well, no, I'll go further into that. Yeah. I mean, when I was training and when I was thinking of pivot, I was getting bored of what I was doing. I was not happy. I felt like I wasn't able to really provide for my clients the way I wanted to because I wasn't passionate about it anymore. And if I wasn't passionate about it, obviously they're going to feel that too. And I just felt like I was doing a disservice to them by not giving it my all. So I mean, I didn't know I was going to pivot, and the pivot actually happened when my whole family decided to move from California to Texas, and I handed off my whole training business over to another trainer. And that was a forced pivot. But I mean, I was thinking about it before then and really focusing on how to transition. But yeah, I mean, definitely the mindset of, or not the mindset, but the feelings of being nervous, being scared, being afraid to really let people down and to let yourself down, or maybe it might not work. You know, these are all fears that we all go into when we are thinking of trying to pivot or transition one way or the other. But ultimately, if you have the drive and the desire and the passion to do something, it's never going to hold you back. And you have all that past knowledge from all your successes. So you can use that. You don't lose that. You can use that and mold it into your new business, your new industry that you're going into. And that's what I did with training. Like how I found all my clients really in fitness and the follow-up sequences that I did. I just really changed it over to fit the voice of entrepreneurship in the digital age. So it wasn't hard. It was just using all my past experiences to really just leverage them and take it to that next level.
You seem to have something that a lot of times I'm not noticing from others. Well, I should say it this way. It's practiced for you. You clearly have been in the entrepreneurial space for a long time, but you're being very logical about it, which is awesome. And it's hard when we instead, we can be very emotional looking at these decisions because they are emotional. Yeah, I was laughing at that phrase, like business isn't personal. Don't take it personally. It's like the most personal thing on the planet. And so you're saying a lot, which is great. What do you do in the middle of the emotion, though? I mean, you're a trainer. You do a lot with mindset. You're a pro at that stuff. But what do you say, let's say, to a student who's in the middle of physical pivoting? They're pivoting physically, and you're training them. You're doing this, and they start getting into that emotional, like deliriousness, so they can't think clearly, and they kind of go all over. We all have experienced that, but what do you say to someone who's kind of going through that?
Well, I think a lot of people focus on things they can't control. And when you focus on things you can't control, you're just going to drive yourself insane. There's no reason to try and control things that are out of your scope. So you might as well focus on the things that you can control. And that's everything that you can do today. I only focus on things that I can actually change or implement. And put, like, obviously something like this where we're going through this huge crisis with the coronavirus. So like, it's, it is what it is, but I'm not going to be able to, make the coronavirus disappear. I'm not going to be able to control if I catch or not. Obviously I can stay home and protect myself and wash my hands. But if I get it or if I don't get it, I'm not worried about that. It is what it is. And ultimately, like, you just keep pushing forward and you keep driving. A lot of entrepreneurs, Alex Charfin talks about the entrepreneur mindset and pretty much how we are all, what is the word? What Alex Charfin.
Talking about that momentum-driven beings.
Momentum-driven beings, but we are anyways, you know what I'm talking about. But pretty much it's momentum. If we are constantly going forward and pushing and doing what we need to do, then we're going to be happy and uplifted and positive. If we're stagnant or not doing or going backwards, then we're going to feel sad. So I think, for me and a lot of entrepreneurs, we are more emotional based on what we're physically doing and what we have control over and how we can not manipulate that, but change it so that it works towards our benefit.
Yeah.
But I think that's I'm not worried about the coronavirus or anything that's gonna happen. It just does. There's nothing I can control about that. So
totally get
there's
it.
no reason. Yeah. So there's no reason to focus on things outside your control.
That's awesome. So entering what you're starting to recognize, you're getting self-aware, you're getting future vision, and you start realizing, oh my gosh, I got to change where I currently am. And you're a pro at this. You do it with others, you do it for yourself through all these entrepreneurial journeys you've gone through. But I totally agree with that. It's focus on what you can control. Again, not to keep sticking on the coronavirus thing, but it's so true. I mean, it's no different than the new biggest ambiguity thing inside of my own business. It's no different. It's just like the way I approach it and walk up to it.
Right.
Because there's nothing you can do about it. It's just like,
exactly.
Wash your hands, get extra sleep, exercise more. There you go. Eat your protein.
Yeah. Or you can actually turn it into a positive, right?
You can say
now I can spend time with my family more, or it's just how you think of things and how you put stuff in perspective. I'm all about perspective and how you actually visualize things, and instead of focusing on the negative, turn it into a positive of some sort. And you'll never be sad in a day of your life if you just focus on the positives in life.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So you've got your one funnel away stories have been, even though it may not be with a funnel, but you still were doing it with training, with real estate, with in the one funnel away challenge with affiliate marketing. Now you're doing it through software. I guess what's the future look like for you? Where not that you're looking for the next pivot, but what do you think will happen next?
Yeah, so this year I wanted to really focus on speaking from stage and doing higher level stuff. Really take myself out of the business and like you do higher level things. And I was lucky enough this year. It's March right now, end of March, and was lucky to already speak from stage twice. I spoke about real estate investing in Atlanta, Georgia, and then I was speaking at a digital agency conference called Pod Live in Florida. And so this year really is just about focusing on networking, meeting more people, growing as an individual and helping other people grow, and just doing the higher level stuff instead of focusing on just the everyday thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Brandon, thanks so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. And this has been fantastic. We kind of had a big discussion mostly on pivots, which I think is powerful and good for everyone to hear. This life's full of pivots. So thanks for taking the time. It really means a lot.
Of course. Yeah, I definitely appreciate everything that you guys do, and you guys are really building a great community. And if anyone is thinking about taking one funnel away, I highly recommend it because it just really takes you step by step on what you need to do and how you can really grow a business online by just using all the tools and resources and knowledge that you guys provide. So thank you for everything that you guys do, and Yeah, I really appreciate you guys.
Oh, thanks so much, man. Thanks so much. Thanks, Brandon. And if you guys have enjoyed this interview, say thanks to him as well. If you guys want to go take the One Funnel Away Challenge, go to onefunnelaway.com. And that's 30 days. We'll help you get your first funnel out the door or your next one. All right. Thanks so much. Thanks, Brandon. Bye.
Thanks, Stephen. Have a good one.